Okay, this problem can actually be solved without calculus because this function is a quadratic function. It's a parabola that opens downward because the leading coefficient is negative. And if we could find the axis of symmetry for that parabola, the high point would be reached at the vertex, where uh, the vertex would be the high point. And the formula for the axis of symmetry of a up or downward opening parabola is the opposite of b over 2a. In this case, b is v sub 0, so the opposite of b over 2a, negative 32. So there is the axis where the axis of symmetry occurs, x equals v sub 0 over 32. And if we plug that number into the original function, we'll have uh, an equation that will let us find out the value of v sub 0 that will give us this high point of 5.9. Okay, now here's how you do it with calculus. You take the first derivative, set the first derivative equal to 0 to find the critical numbers, and guess what? You find the same value, v sub 0 over 32. If you find h double prime of t, negative 32, that tells you that the second derivative is always negative, so the original function is always concave downward, which means that this critical number, v sub 0 over 32, does give you a maximum. So we want to know if I put v sub 0 over 32 into the original equation, and I get an answer of 5.9 for the height, what is the value of v sub 0 that will make that happen? So there's the v sub 0 over 32 substitute. V sub 0, negative 16 over the 32 squared. You can see that one of these 32s allows us to do this. So we get negative v sub 0 squared over 64 plus v sub 0 squared over 32. I can clear the equation of fractions by multiplying every term by 64. These two terms combine to v sub 0 squared. If I take the square root of both sides, the square root of the 64 is 8. Square root of 5.9. There's a possible answer. Okay, and if I share my screen, go to Desmos, there is an approximate value for the square root of 8, square root of 5.9. 19.43 seems to be the required initial velocity. Okay, there you go. Hope that helped. If you have any questions, post a comment.